Syria's longest river has receded, parching trees and leaving families of local farmers without water to drink.
It's shocking how the land of Syria and Iraq dries up so bad that the Euphrates River is draining out. Its extremely dry bed breaks into several parts, forcing millions of people to hunger for thirst and water. Many communities need access to food and electricity. Is there any hell underground burning hot that is evaporating the Euphrates River? What could be responsible for the strange heat that dried up the Euphrates River? Stick around as we explore it all in this video. And unbelievable water scarcity in Iraq grew so bad that large swathes of farmland, fisheries, power production, and drinking water sources have been depleted. In the Ninewa governorate, wheat production is expected to decrease by 70% because of a lack of water which could facilitate plant growth. In contrast, in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, production is expected to decrease by half as the land gradually dries up every month. Across the region, there are low levels of rainfall due to increased temperatures, and the strange hot weather continues to dry up any little water left. It also disrupts electricity as dams run out of water, which impacts the development of essential infrastructure, including health facilities. Higher temperatures caused by climate change will impose diverse health risks on human internal organs. More than 5 million people in Syria directly depend on the river. Similarly, in Iraq, losing access to water from the river threatens at least 7 million people. Some 400 square kilometers of agricultural land lack water for plant growth. 2 dams in northern Syria, serving 3 million people with electricity, face imminent closure. It is rumored that the cause of the extremely hot weather that dried up the Euphrates River is linked to the fulfillment of the Holy Book, the Bible. The Tigris-Euphrates Great River System of southwestern Asia comprises the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which flow through the heart of the Middle East of Mesopotamia. A Greek word that means land between the rivers was one of the frameworks of civilization. The 2 rivers have their sources within 50 miles of each other in eastern Turkey and travel southeast through northern Syria and Iraq to the head of the Persian Gulf. There was a point when the land between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers in the Middle East was full and even flooded its coastline, which made it appealing for a fertile crescent. But as time passed, everything changed, and the river gradually evaporated as the sun's intensity rose beyond normal. Not just that, but something underground stems from the Euphrates River to evaporate. So what does this signify for the fate of humanity? This sign from the Euphrates River is a sign that is relative to what has been revealed from the biblical and scientific standpoint. Many Christians are watching the Euphrates River, which is nearly dry, and is a Bible scripture associated with it that describes 4 fallen angels. The boiling land between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers aligns with a biblical insight about strange sounds underground. A portion of Revelation in the Bible reveals tunnels where angels that fell from heaven are trapped. So it is perceived that demons are currently burning in hell, and the hell may be underground around the Euphrates River. We know these are demonic beings because they are described as bound. Demons are fallen angels, many of whom are bound in chains of gloomy darkness, in 2 Peter 2-4. God's good angels are not bound but are free, as are some of Satan's angels/demons. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Where are these 4 angels imprisoned along the Euphrates rivers? There is a well-known correlation between human sin and that area. Perhaps the first murder occurred in the Euphrates region, close to the Garden of Eden, Genesis 4-8. In that region, the first war allies happened. To clarify this, check Genesis 14. There Nimrod established his kingdom, Genesis 10-8-12. The area saw the rise of Babylonian idolatry, which will be judged. It was also written in the book of Revelation. What are these fallen angels screaming underground on the Euphrates River? Revelation chapter 12, verses 7-9, reveal much about the angels below the Euphrates. According to the Bible, A war between Michael and the dragon broke out in heaven. The dragon responded with his angels, but he was too weak and lost the battle, so they were expelled from heaven. The 4 angels under the Euphrates are unquestionably a part of the fallen angels who were hurled down with Satan when you read Luke chapter 10 verse 17, Revelation chapter 12 verses 7 to 9, and Jude chapter 1 verse 6. The great dragon was thrown down by the ancient serpent, the devil or Satan, who leads the entire world astray. He was hurled to the earth and his angels with him, according to Revelation chapter 9. You will notice that some of the fallen angels, who are part of the 1/3 of angels chosen by the devil, were not allowed to roam freely on earth like the others, but were instead chained or bound until the appointed time. These imprisoned angels were most likely violent and may endanger humanity's existence. Therefore, God had to jail them. Among the shackled angels are definitely the 4 angels of the Euphrates. According to Revelation chapter 9, they will be unleashed from the Euphrates to fulfill biblical prophecies that call for the smiting of 1/3 of the earth. Everyone should be aware that everything happening in the Euphrates signals that the rapture is approaching. Therefore, we must serve the Lord with zeal since we live in the latter days. The Bible may refer to the angels who control Syria, Iraq, Turkey, and Iran. That those nations will be allowed to go to war, as it says about them in Revelation 9:13-16, since these nations are spread out along the Euphrates. Although the fallen angels are not given names in the Bible, a few are in the book of Enoch. The leader is Shemiyaza, Semjaza, or Shemihaza. Azazel, Tamiel, Ariel, and Kokabeel are some of the names of the deceased. Different translators can spell names differently. In the book of Enoch, the fallen angels are referred to as the Watchers. There were 200 angels total, and their job was to watch over humanity without interfering, unless God said so. However, they felt lust for the daughters of men. Eventually, they descended to Mount Hermon, in present-day Syria, making a pact with their leader Samiaza to fall as one when they were discovered for this ungodly deed. The act was to take wives and procreate, and as a result, they all produced giants, called the Nephilims, as children. Everyone had a wealth of knowledge of a particular subject matter that were taught to mankind. Even though some of it was positive, most of it was quite negative, such as the fashioning of weapons of war, how to kill, the art of war, and the beautification of lust, all taught by Azazel, the teaching of enchantments taught by Amoros, and so on. We were needed to be evolved more for it. Some people are of the opinion that the fallen angels are responsible for tempting humans and enacting principles of their desire for mankind. They are all around us, influencing the governments, Babylon the Great's false religious empire, and the commercial empire, which includes the entertainment industry. They continue to stir up hatred and racism, among other things, and tempt people to act wrongly. The last days are exactly as the Bible predicts. The river, which passes through Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and other countries before flowing into the Persian Gulf, is considered Western Asia's longest river. On the other hand, the Euphrates River is in danger. Due to the water policies of Iraq's neighbors Turkey and Syria, a 2-year drought, years of abuse by Iraq and its farmers, and 2 Bible passages that foretell the Euphrates River's eventual drying up, the river is considerably lower than it was a few years ago. God judges Babylon's rulers, wise men, army, horses, chariots, wealth, and false prophets. Then, God predicts either a drought in Babylon's waters or the rise of terror in a land of idols, according to Jeremiah chapter 38, verses 50. Some people believe that the drying riverbed fulfills biblical end-of-the-world prophecies. But a new video from this location has recently surfaced that is interesting and upsetting to many people. The Euphrates River has dried up, revealing many historical structures and a cave. What about the sounds the scorpion-like beast makes when the bottomless pit is revealed in Revelation chapter 9? In addition to capturing sounds of fallen angels or devils imprisoned beneath the bottomless pit, a video recently made public clearly shows archaeologists visiting the dried-up Euphrates River site. It is important to stress that this is far from proof, especially with the lack of videos available. We know that 4 angels are imprisoned close to the Euphrates River, and that when they are released, they will slaughter 1/3 of humanity with 2 million horsemen. Although the reality of the pit noises has been called into question, everyone is weary of where the strange tunnel under the riverbed, which may contain the fallen angels mentioned in the Bible, is located. According to Berkeley Earth, a non-profit organization conducting climate research in California, Iraq's annual temperatures are rising roughly twice that of the rest of the world. Since the late 1800s, the world has warmed by an average of 1.3 degrees Celsius. In contrast, Iraq has warmed by an astounding 2.5 degrees Celsius. However, the human-made aspect of the Euphrates problem starts more than 1,000 kilometers away. The Turkish government has been constructing dams to produce energy and expand agricultural land upstream below the Taurus Mountains in eastern Turkey for years. Vicky Van Dam on the upper Euphrates was completed in 1974. The situation was on the verge of escalation when Turkey and Syria eroded the Euphrates River into a series of reservoirs, effectively drying off the river's downstream stream in Iraq. As a result, the Iraqi government built a network of canals from the Euphrates River to a lake farther northwest of Baghdad. Since the construction of Turkish and Syrian dams in the 1970s, Iraqis have clashed with both neighbors for decades over their fair share of the water. According to the World Resources Institute, a non-profit American environmental organization of 8 agencies, Iraqis already feel the effects of the Euphrates drying up. The current water crisis in Iraq is already putting the lives of at least 10 million people in danger and limiting access to food and energy. As a result, wheat production in northern Iraq may decline by as much as 70% in order to address the issue. The irrigation system would need to be completely rebuilt, which could cost between $60 and $80 billion, money that the poor nation does not have, meaning that hunger is imminent. Additionally, as dams break, the amount of electricity available is reduced, which affects army hospital operations and other crucial infrastructure. The current scenario is the result of regional politics and climate change. Do you think the whole story is fulfilling the Bible's prophecies about the rapture and the next coming of Jesus? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe to our channel for similar content. Thanks for watching till the end.